Hi there, and welcome to our bite-size update on the Welsh Government's firebreak lockdown support. My name's David. I'm a project manager on Social Business Wales, and I'm joined today by Joelle, who's a market development advisor for Social Business Wales as well. Before we start, I just want to say that today's date is the 22nd of October. It's a Thursday, the day before the lockdown actually starts. Any information that we pass on to you today is up to date at this point. As anything like this, things change quickly, and we always recommend that you visit the relevant websites before you take any action to make sure that you're working on most up-to-date information. So the main question, I guess, to start with is actually what support has been made available by Welsh Government to support this very unusual sort of situation.
Well, thanks, Dave. When the First Minister announced that he was going to be putting Wales back into a national lockdown, the so-called firebreak, he also announced a series of measures to support businesses. So they're really split into two categories. So there's a lockdown business fund and a business development grant.
Okay, great. So the Lockdown Business Fund, it says on our slide here, it's administered by the local authorities. How is that going to work?
It's very much going to work like the previous rate relief scheme that operated during the first phase of the pandemic and the first national lockdown. We think this fund is going to be administered through the local authorities, but probably the initial entry point is going to be through the Business Wales site. So people will have to go onto that Business Wales site, fill in a very simple form, and then they'll get directed to their own local authority. The support there will be for organisations that have properties with a rateable value of less than £12,000, and they can receive a one-off payment of £1,000. If those businesses are in the retail, leisure or hospitality sectors and they have a rateable value between 12,000 and 51,000, they can get a one-off payment of £5,000. Now, interestingly, on this scheme, there's also going to be a discretionary element as well. So up to £2,000, well, between £1,000 and £2,000, it is going to be on an application basis, but it will be for organisations that have been forced to close due to the firebreak or that have been in local lockdown measures for more than 21 days. It is still a new scheme. We don't have the details yet. We're expecting them out within probably the next 24 to 48 hours. But what we would say is keep looking on that Business Wales website and check in Welsh Government for any updates, and also your local authority. They'll be publishing them when they're available.
Okay, that's great, thanks. So the business development grant, that is very much more aimed at recovery and rebuilding and regrowing your business. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, Ken Skates initially announced this a few weeks back as the third phase of the Economic Resilience Fund, which a lot of our clients in the sector would have accessed. In his announcement, he put a lot of mood music into this is about not surviving in the present, but thriving in the future. So it's very much about how businesses are going to cope with the effects of COVID-19, how they're going to develop their business models post-COVID-19. So it's there not about surviving and survival projects. It's about supporting projects that are going to improve the operation of the business. There's definitely a focus around projects that create jobs for young people, so those under 25, people with disabilities and people from BAME communities. The grants are open to all businesses, so it's going to be the private sector, sole traders, as well as the third sector and social businesses. So we are expecting high demand for this. So if you are interested in it, you really need to be going through the eligibility checker now.
So how much money is available in this?
It all depends on your size of organisation, how many people you employ. So if you're a micro business with between 1 and 9 employees, then you can apply up for £10,000. Small to medium enterprises with between 10 and 249 employees, they can apply for up to 150,000. There's also opportunities for larger businesses for up to £200,000. Now, importantly, this grant is very different. There is an element of match funding required. So dependent on your size, in terms of employees, that could be between 10 and 20%. But there are discretionary awards. So the match funding could be written out. So you could get a 100% award if you fall within tourism and hospitality businesses. But also, we're led to believe there might be some scope and some flexibility for organisations that have been forced to close because of this fire break restrictions. So if you are putting in an application, it's definitely worth mentioning if your business has had to close down because of those restrictions.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for that. I think a lot of our clients will have already accessed similar funding from previous tranches from that. The one thing that I suspect will worry quite a lot of people will be whether or not they can now apply for this third tranche of funding.
It's really inclusive. So if you've received any grants through the previous tranches or the business rate relief, you can still apply for this. What I'd really recommend is that you go onto the Business Wales website and go through the eligibility checker, because it's a really good tool of telling you what you could apply for, but also telling you what you need to get prepared for any application.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for that, Joelle. Just as we wrap it up, I just want to point out that Joelle's led on two really, really useful webinars over the last couple of weeks on HR and finance, and there's a lot of really, really useful information on those that will help you over the next few weeks. If you need anything more bespoke from Social Business Wales, please do contact us on 0300 111 5050 or email us on sbwinquiries@wales.coop. That's it from our bite-size update today. I hope you found it helpful, and we'll speak to you again soon. Thank you.